Morning all. Absolutely gorgeous morning here, but hockey all day, so here I am. So just a quick news of the day video to start off my Saturday's entries. The third period between St. Louis and the Islanders upcoming, so I'll be reviewing that game on its own. And then the afternoon games are getting going too pretty quick here. So Tyson Barrie, the Edmonton Oilers, is out 7 to 10 days with an upper body injury, so that'll just be a little bit of a test for the Oilers. I say a little bit only because Barry hasn't been playing the more than 20 minutes a game, so he's basically been getting third pairing minutes. So they'll just go to the next guy up, and we'll see how things go for the Oilers. And again, they're coming into today as a team that's just below the playoff line because the team ahead of them has one game in hand. So things are going to get interesting. News out of Toronto, of course, and I say of course because at this time of year, there's a lot of talk about what Toronto might do, what they could do. The interesting thing is how much it feels like it's the same argument year after year. So Kyle Dubas is saying he wants to add on the blue line, which makes total sense when you look at the fact that Muzzin's out with a concussion and you need some defensive depth as you get ready for the playoffs, because a first round exit for Toronto this year and the whole thing could get thrown in the air and who knows how things land. Kasha's out tonight with an upper body injury. Sandin's out due to illness. So that's going to leave them having to put some guys in the lineup that aren't normally in there, kind of thing. And Wayne Simmons, will play his 1,000th game of his career tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs against Vancouver. So it's nice to see Simmons reach 1,000 games. Tough player who has been known as a pretty good goal scorer / power forward. Now he's more of a bottom six forward, but he still has that power to his game. And so it's nice to see him reach game number 1,000. Kudos to him for that. Reason I'm wearing an Arizona jersey is Travis Boyd made the smart decision, and I think the Coyotes made a smart decision. Travis Boyd has been playing maybe the best hockey of his career in Arizona right now. It's been absolutely crazy to see how much of a difference it's made for him to play for the Coyotes. So he knows a good thing, apparently. They know a good thing. They signed a 2-year extension worth a reported $1.75 million a season, which is a big raise over what he's getting right now. He's on league minimum. So he gets a big raise. It's money that Arizona absolutely can afford to spend. And they get a guy in Boyd who's been playing middle 6 minutes. He has been preferably would be on your third / fourth line, but he's been able to play up and down the lineup, and he's been a really useful forward that's played in a lot of different situations for them. So it makes total sense that they would reward him with a 2-year extension. So he will play at ASU next year. We'll see how many of these players that are on expiring contracts with the Coyotes decide they want to help this team through this transition period to what they hope is a new building after 3 years at ASU. Seems to be what they're aiming for. So women's hockey news, it would appear that the PHWPA, so the women's union, is getting closer and closer to forming a league, and that they're working with the NHL. Now, where the PHF fits in is where things get interesting. The argument the whole way through has been, in order for this to work at all, you need to have one league, and all the women playing in one league and feeding into one league and supporting it and helping it to grow. There's never been any talk about how much money they want or anything like that. They say, it has to be a league where it can provide them with a livable wage. With your standard benefits you'd get at most jobs, full-time jobs here in Canada. And just a league that has the opportunity to grow and is built correctly. Now, of course, for the PHF, seeing the commissioner step down has opened up a lot of discussion about whether or not there's going to be a thawing of the feelings between the Premier Hockey Federation, the Women's Hockey League that's playing right now, and the PHWPA, the union that's been holding out and doesn't seem to have an affinity for joining the PHF. So if they can work something out where they work together, that'd be great. Sarah Nurse saying she's optimistic something could happen. She points out that Hamilton could be a good spot, and that there should be, as soon as this year, so 2022, 2023, something figured out. NHL teams have had agreements with both the Dream Gap Tour that the union's putting on, as well as agreements in place with the PHF. So the support has been there, and now it's a matter of just making it happen, where you get that women's league that should be a lot stronger, and where it's best on best, right? You don't have some of the best in one league and some of the best in the other. So I know the Dream Gap Tour's been successful. It's been popular, and so we'll see whether or not this does lead to what they've been fighting for years now, which is creating a league that, yeah, if it fails, it fails, but they want it to fail with a business model that has a better chance of not failing than what they've seen so far for women's hockey. So, that set aside, Islander news, and if you're watching the game today, you already know that Chara's not in there. Chara's already missed 3 games before this one. He's been placed on the injured reserve list. Koivula and Wotherspoon both called up by the New York Islanders. That depth on the blue line you're going to need, so they've been called up. Montreal news, and this is a bummer. This really is. The Andrew Hammond story, one that I've been really, excited about, and he's looked pretty good for Montreal so far. He's now on the IR for a lower body injury he suffered against Calgary, which is, again, too bad. So they've had to recall Caden Primo, and we remember with Caden Primo how it really looked like he needed some more time to figure things out in the AHL. So, I mean, there's got to be some concern about how long Hammond's going to be out, all this, but it is just the IR. It's not the LTIR. So hopefully it's not for that long, and Primo can go back down to the AHL as soon as possible, because that's where he essentially should be at this point. So Montembeault may play a bunch between now and when Hammond comes back. Of course, the stadium game. Let me go ahead and fix the spelling on that. This is one of those things where I'm listening to a hockey game and I'm writing the notes on the board at the same time. So I've got the board over there. I've got a board over here. So that might be why I spelled that wrong. The 2023 stadium game will be in Raleigh, which is the worst kept secret in sports. The Carolina Hurricanes will be hosting the Washington Capitals. So that should be a fun one, stadium games. That means the Capitals can come up with a fun jersey. The Canes can come up with a fun jersey. We can theorize what they might come up with, and then essentially we usually end up being disappointed with the result when it comes to the stadium games. So my hope would be that this eagle right here is on the front of said jersey, some kind of striping, maybe with some stars as well, something that's kind of fun. Maybe looks like a classic while it's still futuristic at the same time. And for the Canes, I mean, it's the Hurricanes. You can do a lot of fun things with a Hurricanes jersey. So let's hope that while we're getting the reverse retros next season as well, they do something fun with the reverse retro and play against each other wearing the reverse retros. And then in the stadium game, they wear the futuristic kind of thing, which is kind of how they think the stadium should be. A lot of the time it just comes off looking odd, not really, like this is the future of jerseys kind of thing, but kind of well, that was a choice, wasn't it? But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Should it be the Weagle that's on the front? What should the Canes do? Should the Canes have a giant flag? The Bolts had bolts and a big lightning bolt on the bottom. Yet, of course, Smashville this year. What do you think they're going to do? What should they do? Let me know your thoughts. The interesting part of this, too, is that since they were supposed to have it this year, it may very well be like the Winter Classic jerseys that Minnesota and St. Louis had this year, where they were already decided a while ago. They were already made a while ago. And so that Carolina jersey is probably somewhere, and somebody's probably already seen it because they already designed it. They've probably already produced it, just the game got pushed back. So we'll see, right? Because I just think if the Winter Classic got pushed back and they kept the jerseys, highly possible that happened with the stadium jersey as well. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And again, from an absolutely gorgeous day here, it's supposed to be nice and warm here today too. Good sign that spring is indeed upon us. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. I will talk to you again soon. Oh, and there's licorice.